You finish your last language app lesson the night before your flight. The dialogue is clean, the actors speak slowly, and as you step out of a quiet doorway, you feel completely ready. You have spent 6 months mastering carefully paced vocabulary. You expect every conversation to unfold like those structured classroom exchanges. Then the guy at the taqueria hits you with a rapid-fire sentence that ends in güey, a slang term that rhymes with absolutely nothing you practiced. Or the woman at the corner store answers your question with ahorita and walks away, leaving you standing there guessing if she means right now or sometime next week. That confusion is a documented reality. It is not a failure of your study habits. It is a structural mismatch between the standard curriculum you memorized and the reality of how a specific city actually speaks. The decision you face is practical. Do you need to learn the broad, foundational rules of a language, or do you need to learn how to survive and sound natural in one specific place? Babbel is the established tool for building those broad foundations. StreetTongue is a hyper-specific newcomer built entirely around local survival. To figure out where you should actually invest your time, we must evaluate their teaching methodologies, how they handle dialect specificity, and their long-term financial costs. Both apps approach what we call the textbook gap, the distance between studying a language and actually communicating in it, from completely opposite directions. This checklist shows the specific environment standard apps promise: perfect enunciation, standard vocabulary, and a slow, measured pace. The street reality is harsh. Locals drop consonants, speak at extreme speeds, and rely heavily on hyper-local slang to get things done. Most established apps teach a generalized, neutral version of a language. It is grammatically sound, but it exists nowhere on actual city streets. Babbel built its reputation on human-curated dialogue lessons. It threads clear grammar explanations directly into structured conversations. If you put in 15 minutes a day, the system logically builds your vocabulary and shows you how the language works as an entire system. For someone starting from absolute zero, this method easily builds a functional conversational baseline that works across multiple countries. The major trade-off is that Babbel teaches a composite language. The Spanish on Babbel is not the Spanish of Mexico City, Buenos Aires, or Madrid. It is an artificial middle ground designed to be broadly understood everywhere. Using the word autobús instead of the local word camión, or omitting local diminutives like ito when making a request, will immediately mark you as a textbook learner the moment you order a coffee. Babbel makes you grammatically correct, while simultaneously ensuring you sound exactly like a tourist. StreetTongue starts by asking a much narrower question: what does someone actually need to function in one specific city? It abandons generalized standards completely. The curriculum is built entirely around city-specific phrase sets and scenarios. The Mexico City module trains you on the local register, the speed of delivery, and the specific Nahuatl-derived vocabulary you need to negotiate a price at a market. Compare that to the Buenos Aires module. That track focuses heavily on local voice conjugations, the unique sh sound for double L's, and the heavy Italian-inflected intonation of the region. This voice waveform demonstrates StreetTongue's scored pronunciation feedback. It forces you to mimic the local dialect. Hearing a phrase and reproducing it convincingly are two different skills. The app highlights the exact point where your pitch failed to match the street inflection. The trade-off here is that StreetTongue assumes you already have a basic grasp of the language. It will not hold your hand through foundational grammar. It trades broad grammar lessons for deep street survival, bridging the register and accent gap. Beyond just the methodology, the financial realities of these two language platforms are built on entirely different economic structures. This 3-year cost projection chart breaks down the math. Babbel operates on an ongoing subscription model with a low barrier to entry. At roughly $96 a year, that compounding cost approaches $300 over 3 years of continuous use. The risk of the subscription model is that if you pause your billing between trips, you lose access to all of your study materials. StreetTongue uses a one-time flat fee for a single city pack. The upfront cost jumps to about $150, but the line stays completely flat, crossing below Babbel before you reach year 2. You gain permanent equity in the app. There is no renewal anxiety and no loss of access. Monthly fees maintain a library of general rules, but a one-time purchase keeps a specific city's dialect available for every return trip. This decision tree simplifies the choice. Starting from 0 for broad travel basics, your path points to Babbel. Are you spending deep time in a specific city? Your path is StreetTongue. For total fluency, use Babbel for foundational grammar and StreetTongue to calibrate it. These platforms serve distinct phases of the language learning journey. They are tools meant to be used for different goals. Babbel provides an excellent, structured foundation for how a language operates. StreetTongue targets the specific linguistic markers needed to survive outside of the tourist register. The ultimate goal of language learning is walking into a local neighborhood and interacting without immediately being flagged as an outsider. To bridge the gap between being textbook correct and street fluent, download StreetTongue at the link on screen. We want to hear your language reality check stories. Let us know in the comments below which city's slang caught you completely off guard. Fluency is achieved when your speech aligns with the specific vocabulary and rhythm of the city you are standing in.